When I landed in sweet Philadelphia, oh, the weather was warm and fair. And I didn't stay long in that city, no, as you shall quickly hear. I didn't stay long in that city, for it happened to be in the fall. And I ne'er reefed a sail in me rigging till I anchored upon the canal. So fare you well, father and mother, likewise old Ireland too. And fare you well, sister and brother, it's kindly I'll bid you adieu. When I came to this wonderful nation, oh, it filled me with greatest surprise to see such a great undertaking on the like. I ne'er opened me eyes to see a full 1,000 brave fellows at work among mountains so tall, a dragging a chain o'er the mountains to strike a line for the canal. So fare you well, father and mother, likewise old Ireland too. And fare you well, sister and brother, it's kindly I'll bid you adieu. So I entered with them for a season, me monthly pay for to draw. And being a very good humour, well, it's oft I sang errand abroad. Our provisions, they were very plenty, oh, to complain I'd no reason at all. Sure, I'd money in every pocket while working upon the canal. So fare you well, father and mother, likewise old Ireland too. And fare you well, sister and brother, it's kindly I'll bid you adieu. And at nights when we rest from our labour, sure, but our rent is all paid. Oh, we lay down our picks and our shovels, likewise our axes and spades. And we all set to joking together on our minds there is naught to enthrall. Sure, if happiness be in this wide world, I'm sure it is on the canal. So fare you well, father and mother, likewise old Ireland too. And fare you well, sister and brother, it's kindly I'll bid you adieu.
Now on the canal, the old Irish used to be after telling stories. And the fellas always told the tale of the hot summer when the snakes and the toads and the frogs and the salamanders and the other vermin sought out the cool waters of the canal. Now that year there wasn't hardly enough water in the river to siphon off, and the teams had to pull all the harder as the boats was dragging on the bottom. Timpers flared and the schedules were hard to keep, and it really showed at the locks when the boats had to wait their turn. As was the custom by the Irish, the matter of whose boat would go first would often be determined by pugilistic skills and a good old bash. Often one from each boat was chosen to face off, and it so happened that a big old galoot known by one and all was doing the challenging, and everyone on the other boat knew him save one except a greenhorn Irishman built like a blade of grass. Nobody believed that they would have their chance, so the sacrificial lamb was sent to the slaughter. It was short work for the big fella, for with one blow across the bow, be Jesus, no, the greenhorn was on his way into the canal. But the strangest thing happened as soon as he hit the water, for all of the snakes and toads and frogs and salamanders and other vermin made their way out of the water as fast as their bellies and legs could carry them. Now Alfred T. Kelly himself got wind of it and came to investigate, and what he found out was that the greenhorn had a leather thong around his neck, to which was tied a bag of sod from Ireland, so as what he could remember the land from whence he came. Now Kelly knew that St. Patrick himself had blessed the soil and drove the snakes from Ireland in 436, and there hadn't been a snake in those parts ever since. So he went around purchasing the sod bags from every greenhorned Irishman that he could find, that had one on him, you know, and he spread the sod up and down the canal from Cleveland to Portsmouth, and there was never a time when the snakes and toads and frogs and salamanders and other vermin plagued the canal from that day till this. Now, when I was young, we thought it was because it was polluted, you know. But now we know better.
Well, I've travelled all around the world in Chillicothe too. I've been casting desert islands, I've been beaten black and blue. Fought and bled at Gettysburg, I've wandered all forlorn, oh, but I'll never forget the trip I took to Cleveland, Hull and Corn, and it's trap, tying up the line. Watch the playful horseflies as on the mules they climb. Whoa, back cost the mules forget it, I never shall, for I'm every inch a sailor on the Ohio Canal. Well, the cook we had on board the ship stood 6 feet in her socks, a bosom like a box card, and her breath would open the lock. So a maid of 60 summers was she who slipped upon the floor, and when she went to sleep at night, oh, suffering how she'd snore. It's trap, tying up the line. Watch the playful horseflies as on the mules they climb. Whoa, back cost the mules forget it, I never shall, for I'm every inch a sailor on the Ohio Canal. Well, just outside of Massillon we struck a lump of coal. It gave the boat a hell of a shock and stove in a big hole. I hollered to the driver on the towpath treading dirt, and he jumped aboard and plugged the leak with his lousy undershirt. And his trap, tighten up the line. Watch the playful horseflies as on the mules they climb. Oh, back cost the mules forget it, I never shall, for I'm every inch a sailor on the Ohio Canal. And when we came to Cleveland town with Sally, Jim and Hank, oh, we greased ourselves in tallow fat and slid off on a plank. The girls are in the police gazette and the captain's gone to jail, oh, and I'm the only son of a sea cook left to tell this tale. And it's trap, tighten up the line. Watch the playful horseflies as on the mules they climb. Whoa, back cost the mules forget it, I never shall, but I'm every inch a sailor on the Ohio Canal.
In Canal Fulton, there's a plaque that tells of 3 presidents that visited the canal there. One was just a young man, and it was the canal that made him want to go back to school, as he was a hoagie or a mule driver, and he took care of the horses and the mules that pulled all the canal boats, do you know? It was not easy, especially because of the right-of-way when the boats would pass. They'd pass one another, either going in opposite directions or maybe even in the same direction, and there was only the one tow path. And if the ropes were not handled correctly, oftentimes the hoagie ended up in the canal. Now that may not sound so bad, but there was a couple of 1,000 teams of animals that excreted bodily fluids and solids along the path there, and that way made their way into the water. These things, along with the contents of the passenger ships and the passengers' chamber pots or thunder jugs, made it unpleasant as an experience, you know. Anyway, one day up at the basin near Rockside Road, they were tied up for the night, when an old Irish fella invited your man to do a bit of fishing. Well, that would be well and good, says old James A., but it's been a scorcher of a summer there, and the ground is baked so hard it's as hard as a rock, so we won't be able to dig the worms at all, you know. Ah, you needn't worry about that. We'll find something, says the old fellow. They set out across the dry grass field to the Cuyahoga River now with poles in hand, and halfway across the old fellow looks down there and he says, "Hey, James A., look at this," and there was a snake with a frog in its mouth, going in head first and the legs still kicking. Why, that old frog would be a great bit of bait, don't you think? Maybe so, says James A., but how would you get it from him? And with that now, the old fellow pulled out a flask. Just bought this at the Whiskey Lock, some of the finest that Brandywine Falls has to offer. He pulled out the cork with his teeth and poured a bit on the snake's head. Oh, begod, there now the snake coughed and writhed on the ground, and it spit the frog out. The boys grabbed it and cut it into bits when they got to the river there now, and they fished for a while. They were fishing for a long while now when the old fellow felt a tug on his trousers, and he looked down and there was the snake, and he had left another frog right at the old fellow's feet, and now his head was cocked back there now, his eyes were tightly closed and his mouth was wide open, and he was looking for another drop of that whiskey.